This is a good redemption story. Um, as you know, Mike Tyson used to be a heavyweight boxer champion of the world, and then he got into drugs, and he started getting he started to get more above himself. He started to go down a really bad path, and he was convicted of rape, and received a 6-year jail sentence and only served 3. But in 1995, he went back to the gym, as the story I'm going to read states, and he redeemed himself, became somewhat of a bit part movie star. Let's see, what movie was that? The Hangover and Hangover 2, I think, or Hangover 3. One of those, 2 of the 3 of those movies right there. He's got the show on Cartoon Network, Adult Swim. I think it's Mike Tyson's Mysteries. But he remarried, or he got married again and redeemed himself. So let's go over the story real quick. It says, I hurt everybody. Mike Tyson tells Alabama football players why they need to manage anger. And everybody needs to manage anger. And if you say, I'm never angry, you are. But let's continue on here. Former heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson spoke to Alabama football team on Thursday night, urging players who love themselves and manage their anger in a healthy way. Quote, "It was all an illusion," Tyson told the team via ESPN. "I had no reason to show love to anybody. The more I hurt people, the more people loved me. The more I knocked guys out, the more I broke their ribs, broke their eye sockets, the more people loved me. So what was I to think? I hurt everybody. I hurt women, I hurt my friends, I hurt strangers. I had no concept of myself. Didn't know who I was. I was a boxer who hurt people. I always had to be Iron Mike. You got to love yourself before you can love one another and your teammates. There was one time I didn't love myself." Tyson was open about his own issues that derailed his career and livelihood. A 53-year-old served 3 years of a 6-year federal jail sentence after being convicted of rape in 1992, and he returned to the ring in 1995. Mike Tyson's advice: you got to love yourself before you can love one another and your teammates. I became a drug addict and lost all my money. Just more pain. I got into a situation where I was bankrupt. I lost $400 million. Can you imagine that? Expletive. Alabama coach Nick Saban has annually brought in guest speakers during preseason camp to talk with his team, and they typically have an emotional and meaningful story to share. Quote from Mike Tyson, "We're all accountable, but if we can't be responsible for ourselves, how can we be responsible for one another? That's what this world is about, being responsible. It took me forever to learn that." That's a pretty powerful statement if you're honest, you think about it. If you consider what's going on in the world right now, shootings, mass shootings, political division. You have people on the left urging others that follow their political ideology to shun family members that don't agree with them. There's just a lot of crap and I'm actually kind of glad this is this, dare I say, it's a kumbaya moment, but this is a very good statement by Tyson. If you don't love yourself, how can you be expected to love anybody else? It's almost impossible. If you're just so insulated and just so hateful to yourself by abusing your body with drugs, alcohol, being promiscuous, et cetera, then how do you expect to respect and care for another person? You just can't. It's almost impossible, especially if you're on alcohol and drugs. It's completely impossible. So in this day and age where you have people just urging just violence, just screw them, just kill them, forget them. You got a very good statement from Tyson. I mean, well, you can't get any better than that. Also, considering the fact that if Tyson pulled this stuff off now, like rape or etc., in 2019, he could have never, 20 years later, responded to a football team and give the team advice, because there is no redemption in today's world. Now, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, there's redemption. Even if you rape somebody, you could come back from it and kind of, atone for your loss, atone for your crimes you've committed. Obviously, Tyson has done that. I don't think he's been south of the law since. But yeah, luckily, he spent all this time atoning for his crimes and him hurting people. Now he's he was on I think he was on the Joe Rogan's podcast about a year ago, something like that. It's very good. I highly suggest you watch that. But yeah, he goes over his pitfalls and what he did, and how he basically pulled himself out, from the brink. And other than that, this is a very good message, and no reason to keep continuing on, beating this dead horse. But we all should probably take something from Mike Tyson. Love yourself before you can love another person, especially your teammate, if you will. But again, kudos to Mike Tyson here for having a pretty good, powerful message in this time of complete, utter chaos that we live in.